Community Forum is sponsored by the Easton Grange 196 and a friend of Yardley Wood Rink and the Easton Lions Club.
There's a storm across the valley, the clouds are rolling in. The afternoon is heavy on your shoulders. There's a truck out on the 4-lane, a mile or more away. The whining of his wheels just makes it colder.
Welcome to Community Forum. I'm Priscilla Almquist Olsen, your host, and today is March 12th, 2024. And today I'm welcoming Reverend Adam Riveiro, but he's here today not in a pastoral capacity, but as a member of Easton's Disabilities Committee. So welcome, Adam.
It's good to be with you again, Priscilla. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. And let me tell me, what is the backstory? Why you became interested in Disabilities Committee?
Well, it's interesting. You mentioned me being a pastor, and I think that civic engagement is so important, being a part of the community that you live in and being able to give back when you've received so much. And I felt that way about Easton since we moved here in 2013. The issue for me as a pastor is just that being involved in politics in general is a little bit of a sticky situation. And so being necessarily on a board where I vote to raise someone's taxes, probably not a great thing for a pastor, or to be on a ballot. It just didn't seem like something that would be really conducive to what I do as a pastor. I want people to feel like no matter who they are, where they're from, that they know that they can confide in me or come to our church and feel welcome. And so just still feeling that on one side, that passion to want to give back to the community, but the other side, what would fit for my specific situation as a pastor? And it came to me that there was this board in town called the Commission of Disabilities. And it was near and dear to my heart, particularly because our son has special needs. He is in the Easton Public School system and receives services. And it just really seemed to be the right fit for me to be able to give back, but then also to be able to advocate for people in the community with disabilities, to be able to let them know that there's a town board that is able to help them, again, advocate for them, and also to work with some of the businesses in town as well to let them know how they can better help those who are disabled in the community at the same time. So it just seemed like, for me, to be a win-win, and it's just been a wonderful experience since I've started.
Well, we had the chairman, Matt Riley, on, and he covered so many areas that the commission operates under. And tell me, have you taken up certain responsibilities on that commission in particular?
That's a good question. Yeah, I'm the treasurer of the committee, and so our town does not provide direct funding to the Commission of Disabilities. However, when there is a handicap parking fine that needs to be paid, that actually gets put into, with our town, a special bank account which is able to be used on behalf of those in our town who have disabilities with specific needs. And so there's some rules and governance in how those funds can be dispersed. But at the same time, that funding is specifically is able to go back not just into the general fund, but into the welfare of those here that live in Easton. And so as the treasurer, I keep track of that account with the town, and the town does an excellent job at helping with that. And then also just all of us, not just myself, but all the other ones, members of the board as well. We're just advocates here in town, just keeping eyes open where there might be issues of accessibility, understanding the laws, not just of the ADA, the American with Disabilities Act, which is the federal program, but also the AAB, which is the state Architectural Access Board, the state version in some ways of the ADA. And there's a lot of requirements on businesses for disability accessibility, and honestly, a lot of them very common sense, very, very good to be able to help make sure everyone has the dignity to be able to go into a business or to go into a place of worship and to be able to know that they can go and enter and exit safely, to be able to use the restroom safely. And so one of the things that we do as a committee is just when we're around town to make sure that we look around and see that there are ways for wheelchairs to be able to go in and out easily, or that bathrooms are accessible for different people. And we don't go around necessarily as monitors or nannies in town trying to see those things. But at the same time, when we do, we're able to work with those businesses, not in a way where we're trying to see them be punished, but really just education, and to be able to do that as well. And really, if I was to summarize our board in just one word, in many ways it would be education. The fact that we are trying to educate the community, that there are those who have very specific needs that are disabled, and that businesses and that organizations can provide help to those here in town. And it's been a wonderful experience for me, and that's just some of the responsibilities I have on top of just the monthly meetings that we have on behalf of the town as well.
So, Adam, do you ever get complaints and inquiries from people about accessibility to businesses and other public buildings? And then you do have a duty to go and investigate. Isn't that right?
That's exactly right, Priscilla. And so what we typically will do is anyone that has a complaint, or that either on a public property or a business or any of those, can go onto the town website and they can find the Commission of Disabilities, and they can email us. They can send a message with the relevant information. That's brought before our board at the next meeting, and then we delegate to be able to see who can go to that business specifically, and to be able to, again, not to fine or to try to cause that distress upon the business, but just to educate them on what the relevant laws are. And it is difficult because the laws are changing constantly, and we are sometimes considered community access monitors. We go through specific training with the state to be able to do that. And I can tell you that the relevant laws for accessibility change constantly, and they're difficult. So we never come with the idea that someone is trying to cause difficulty for someone in the realm of accessibility. We just try to educate them and to help them with that. And we found that that has been typically very successful, and something that we do on a regular basis.
It is to the advantage of businesses especially to comply, since it would mean that they obviously will have more customers.
Absolutely. It's one of those things that when you think about it, everybody wins, is that your customers can come in with dignity and be able to shop, if we're talking about a place of business, and they can come and go at will and not have any kind of issues, and you have more customers. One business that we have dealt with, and of course, in a public forum like this, I wouldn't name any names of businesses that we have dealt with, but one in particular that had stock just laying in the middle of aisles. And we were able to try to work with that company, and are still working with that company about that issue. But removing that stock, one, would make the aisle accessible, as well as a fire safety issue to have the aisle blocked, but also to be able to have customers shop on that aisle and to buy things on that aisle. And so really, if everyone complies, it's a win for everybody. And so that's why we really come not with a stick, but with a carrot, just trying to show why it's advantageous. And even as a church, our church is ADA accessible. I know that not every building is able to do that because of age, but we found that we've been able to reach so many more people when they can come in with a wheelchair, when they can go to the restroom and know that the grab bars are where they're supposed to be, and that they can wheel under the sink, and to know that they can wash their hands. Small things that a lot of us probably don't think about until you're in that situation. And so honestly, it's been a privilege to be able to do this and to be able to work with these organizations and individuals. It's really been a joy.
Well, that's great. And so what aspect of being on that commission gives you the most joy?
Well, knowing that there's someone in our town that has a struggle, they don't know who to turn to, and a lot of times people don't know that we even exist. And so that's why I appreciate being on Community Forum, because we're able to let people know that we are there. But someone that doesn't really know who to turn to, and they find out that we're around and that we're able to give them relevant resources. We're able to put them in contact with the right people, maybe at town hall or maybe with the state, and to know that someone has been helped through that, it's very satisfying. It's very gratifying, and so it's why I enjoy being on this commission in particular of all the town boards that maybe would be available to me. There's many that are nonpartisan in the sense that, there's not necessarily political things at stake in the board. There's several options, but this one just gives me a lot of fulfillment, so I'm glad to be a part of it.
That's great. And how many are on the commission?
We have 7 members on our commission, and we also have a select board liaison who is Dottie Fulgenetti, who's been just a wonderful connection between us and the select board. And so we meet virtually, we meet on Zoom. Interestingly enough, we were, by state statute, one of the only types of committees before COVID that was able to meet virtually, because it's encouraged that there are those who may have disabilities of their own to be able to be part of the commission. And so the state has actually made it quite easy for someone who may not be able to make it to town hall to a meeting to be able to be part of it. So far before Zoom meetings and Skype meetings and all those things were even thought of, we were able to be a part of that. And so it's great to be able to have that and to draw from a wider pool of candidates. And so we have 7 as well as select board member Dottie Fulgenetti.
Now, I understand that from Matt Riley, the chairman, that members of your commission come from varied fields, and some of which are appropriate for the mission of the commission.
Absolutely. It's encouraged that you have some connection to someone with disabilities, or whether it's within your family or whether it's someone themselves. And we have one member that utilizes a power chair. We have other members who have disabilities that they deal with personally. We have a United States military veteran who is on our committee, who is obviously seen many things and able to help people in some very specific situations where particularly disabilities and being a veteran might come together. Of course, Matt is very, very educated in what he does, and I have a little bit of a different point of view, but being a pastor, also at the same time having my son AJ, who's on the spectrum, and also having written a couple books as well on special needs and how it relates to the church. We're a pretty interesting crew of people for sure, but at the same time, it's great to see how so many different walks of life can all intersect together, and the different voices come together to be able to meet the needs of people in town.
Now, when do you meet?
We meet once a month. It's typically the second Thursday of each month, and we still do meet virtually. We meet online.
And how does one find out about that and get in touch with that? Is it the town crier?
We have been listed in the town crier before, but I would suggest to someone the best way to keep track of our committee is to go onto the town website. First of all, to go and see our page, because there's a lot of wonderful resources that are there, links to state, federal, and private programs where you can get information that might be helpful to your specific situation or someone who you love. But also, I would really encourage you, one of the hidden gems, I think, of our town website is the Documents on Demand page, because you can sign up for any type of information from any relevant town board. And so what I would suggest you do is to go to that Document on Demand page and go and select that you'd like to have emailed to you agenda as well as minutes. And that's a real simple way to keep track of what's going on our board. Our board doesn't have a lot of visibility, and there's a lot of reasons for that. The main reason is this: many of the things that we talk about are sensitive in nature. For instance, maybe someone's personal health or a business that might be out of compliance, but we don't necessarily want to try to broadcast that to the town. And so because of that, we have found it best that we don't even have our meetings on ECAT. And so as much as I love ECAT, at the same time, you won't find Commission of Disability meetings on ECAT like you will many of the other town boards. And I love that we have those town boards on ECAT. The Commission on Disability is not able to do that. However, because we Zoom all of our meetings, you can always join virtually. And so when you have that agenda, you can just click the link, you can join. And because we are a town board, we are open to the public. And so anyone is willing or certainly able to join, we'd love to have you. We do encourage public participation as well. And so you can become a panelist and bring us your concern directly. And so there is a lot of interaction, even though we don't necessarily have the visibility that other boards have.
Okay, and so the only way that one really finds out about past meetings would be through the minutes. Is that correct?
That's right. So
Because there's no video taken of your meetings.
the Zoom meetings themselves are recorded and filed at Town Hall, just according to state laws. But as far as just being able to pull them up online easily, like you would on YouTube, like you would Community Forum, you just are not able to do the exact same. So you would be able to go through the minutes. The town board was reinstituted back, I believe it was 2016. And so you'll find minutes all the way back to 2016 that are accessible for you to read. And I would certainly encourage you to at least go back and you could read maybe the last years of minutes. It wouldn't take you very long, but it would give you a little bit of an idea more of the mission and maybe some of the places that we've been in touch with.
Okay, and in the future, do you see any expansion of the commission in areas that currently are not tapped?
Yeah, no, I do think that there's definitely room for expansion. And one of the things that our previous chair, Jason Sutton, did, as well as Matt Riley is continuing, is trying to integrate our services with other boards. For instance, the Commission on Disabilities can be a help and service to the school committee. And we've done so in the past and actually looking to do so in the future with some of the new hires that the Easton Public Schools has made. The Easton Public School also has a CPAC, which is the Special Needs Parent Organization. And we've been part of CPAC meetings in the past. We've also had different types of town employees that have come and have presented. For instance, I mean, we have wonderful community programs here through Town Hall, but we've also had some of those who run those programs before our board, just bringing before them the reminder that as programs are being run, are they accessible for those who might have disabilities? I've loved that the town has really taken that to heart and has expanded the offerings that they've given and made sure as well that if someone has a specific disability that Town Hall can do the best they can to accommodate that person. And so I feel like in many ways our expansion is just, if anything, just trying to be more helpful to the town boards that are already in existence and try to help them in these areas that they may not always be focused on because they're so passionate about the mission. But we want to remind them that accessibility is very much part of the mission, making sure that everyone is involved.
Now, are there other goals for the commission besides accessibility?
Yeah, we help in certain areas as far as advocacy. I would say that would be another one as well. If there's someone in town who maybe is going through difficulty, is not sure what resources are available to them, they can do so. There's also certain tax breaks that are available to those who have disabilities that deal with property taxes and things like that. Those are things that we can help put people in touch with the correct person at Town Hall to make sure that they have that. So really, I suggest to people, when I meet people from other towns and they have questions for me about disabilities, one of the first things I say is just Google your town and Commission of Disabilities, and you'll find someone who will want to help and to advocate for you on your behalf. So it's not even just necessarily making sure that a wheelchair can function in a public building or in a business, although certainly that's a part of it. But it's also making sure that the person as a whole, whether it's a physical disability, a cognitive disability, whatever it is, that they know they have an advocate with the town that will help them as best as we are legally able.
And now, for senior persons with disabilities, have you worked with the Council on Aging? For example, they do have a person who is in charge of resources to disseminate resources to seniors, whether it's health related or financially related or whatever. So have you had Council on Aging before your commission?
I believe we have in the past, and so I had to go back in my memory banks to see. It may have been a while. Usually, what we do is about on a 2 or 3 year basis. We try to get a rolling account of as many town boards as we possibly can. And one of the reasons why that works for us is because our terms are 3 years. So pretty much everyone would be able to see every town head as much as we can, and every program in 3 years. I don't remember the last time we've had the Council of Aging with us, but certainly our mission works hand in glove with what they do, and they do a phenomenal job, by the way, as well. And if you are a senior and are disabled and have questions, please feel free to reach out to the commission. We'd be glad to help you. We won't step on the toes of anything that the Council of Aging does. It really just works complementary to what their mission is.
Also, the Council on Aging offers tax planning and tax return work for seniors. So it would seem to me that there must be tax issues which specifically target people with disabilities. So, and I think it's the AARP program at Council on Aging that they will do your taxes for you. Everyone, but those with disabilities might have special tax breaks.
That's exactly right, Priscilla. And I would encourage you, if you have any of those questions, you can reach out to our board, the Council of Aging. As you're working with them, you might, if you're comfortable enough, I would suggest you at least disclose that is an issue, even if it's not the specific disability, but let them know that to make sure that they can help you with the relevant federal, state, or even local tax breaks that are available to you. And I'm not a accountant, nor the son of an accountant, but I can tell you that there's definitely there are things that are available for you. And please let the Council of Aging know if someone had come to us with tax questions as far as needing taxes done, we would actually probably recommend them to go directly to the Council of Aging if they're the right age.
Yeah, so it appears that maybe you should start communicating with those tax preparers at Council on Aging so that they will be advised of all those tax breaks that are specific to people with disabilities.
Sounds like it, absolutely.
Okay, well, there's a great idea. I'm glad I could give one idea.
That's good. No, it's good. Let's keep going. I like it.
And so, how many people are on the commission again? Did you say 7?
7, that's right, and a select board member as well.
Right. And does that work well, or is there a need for expansion as the whole issue gets a little more complicated?
Oh, absolutely. I can tell you we currently have needs for more members, and just in the sense that we do have a full board, but it is sometimes difficult to be able to bring everyone together to be able to meet, and we have expirations on our board as far as terms every year, and we probably will have 2 terms expiring here, and I don't know off the top of my head who they are and whether they would want to be appointed again, but I can tell you that in my experience being on the board since 2019, we've never had so many applications we had to turn people away. The issue has always been, boy, we could really use 1 or 2 or 3 more people just to make sure even that we can reach a quorum. So if this is something that resonates with you or something that you're interested in, I would just ask you to email the Commission of Disabilities, go online, and even if there's not an opening at the moment, it would be good to know there was someone who is interested. You could even be involved with our meetings just as a participant, and certainly when there was a time and a need for someone to be elevated to the board, you would already have some of the information about what the board's all about.
Now, wouldn't it be helpful too, Adam, if you had a cadre of people who want to participate, who might not want to be board members, but might want to assist you and help you with different projects? Thinking like friends of the commission.
Yeah. You've had your second good idea, Priscilla. That's excellent. So that would be. And if you're interested in helping, but not necessarily in joining, maybe it's not something you're comfortable with, or you just don't know time-wise if that would be something that you'd be willing to do. Let us know, because there are projects that we have that sometimes even as board members we're not always able to complete because of the things that we do with our day jobs and such. And so just knowing that there would be people that would want to help or be an advocate for those with disabilities, or maybe you're dealing with a disability on your own and you're passionate about helping others, and you have life experience that would be helpful for us to be able to hear and to learn from, please contact the board, because we would not, again, turn anyone away. We could certainly use as much help as possible.
Well, here's my third idea.
Go for it.
How about asking the Council on Aging to publicize that need in their monthly newsletter?
That would be great. That would be wonderful. I know that we've run an advertisement with them in the past, just letting them know about our board. But at the same time, there's a difference between just saying we're here and saying we want you. And so I think that would be a great idea. I think if we can just extend this, to maybe an hour or so, we might solve all the problems that the commission's dealing with. So you're doing great, Priscilla. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Adam, for being here, and thank you for your dedication to this commission and to people with disabilities. So you are an inspiration, and if everybody on the board, on the commission, is as involved and inspired as you are, we certainly have a wonderful commission, and people with disabilities are benefiting every day in Easton. So thank you so much. And by the way, the name of your church is?
Liberty Baptist Church. We meet at 800 Washington Street here in Easton.
Right. So if you want to hear more of this guy, check out the church. Okay. Thank you again, Adam, for being my guest. And
as always,
continued success on the commission.
Thank you so much, Priscilla.
Yeah. And that's it for us. Until next time, Priscilla Almquist Olsen bidding you farewell and asking you to continue to be well. No more COVID in Easton. Thank you again.
Community Forum is sponsored by the Easton Grange 196 and a friend of Yardley Wood Rink and the Easton Lions Club.